Good afternoon, everybody. So, I'm Mokhtar Hussain. As part of my CSC 8220 Advanced Computer Networks course, I am presenting this paper. The paper is Modeling the Impact of Network Connectivity on Consensus Security of POW for Proof of Work Blockchain. So actually, this paper is published recently in 2020 in an IEEE conference. So actually, this is the actual paper. So I'm going to present this paper. So this is about 10-page paper. This is a 10-page paper, a pretty large paper. So this paper talks about a model about the impact of network connectivity on consensus security in blockchain. So let me make this as a larger font. Okay. So this is the outline of my paper. So it starts with an introduction, then the proposed model. I will briefly talk about the proposed model, and then background knowledge, system model, and the analysis of honest mining, and incorporating network connectivity into selfish mining analysis, evaluation of the model, and discussion for future works, and then conclusion, and finally the reference. So introduction. As we know, in the Bitcoin system that is run by the blockchain technology, that is designed to be a secured by design, that is developed by secured by design model, and that is enable mutually distrustful parties to a shared blockchain through distributed consensus system without relying on a central authority for bootstrapping or controlling the trust. Okay, a consensus security from the honest majority come with the following two implicit assumption in the blockchain system. Number one, all nodes have the same communication capability. Number two, during the blockchain fork race, all competitors have an equal chance of being winner, but in reality these do not happen always. Okay, so the fact that in reality this does not happen always, in practice the quality of network connection often differs significantly across different network regions, and as a result the adversary will no longer require 50% of gross mining power to undermine the consensus security. And following this observation, various blockchain scaling proposal and security analysis have identified a positive correlation between a high blockchain fork rate and weak consensus security. So that means there is a positive correlation between high blockchain fork rate and weak consensus security. However, these security analyses are not adequate to look into the impact of actual network connectivity or information propagation dynamics in a real Bitcoin system or blockchain system. So the authors of this paper, they proposed a new model of impact to measure the impact of network connectivity on consensus security or proof of uh, work blockchain. So as it is shown in the proposal, in the model diagram, so the blockchain consensus protocol is measured sexually by the combination of information propagation dynamics and uh, mm, mining power distribution. So this the combination of these, the communication capability are measures. So the proposal is that the system proposed a network model, that is peer-to-peer communication model, and that is connectivity pattern, and that is evaluated under an adversary model. There are two kinds of model that I am going to discuss soon. One is an adversary model, and honest model. There is another is self mining model. So the security of impact of this model depends on the fork rate of mining revenue, okay, and related to the mining gain distribution over the network. That is considered a 50% consensus security threshold. So the proposed okay, so this is the model proposed. So let us do have some background information. The background information, one of the things is commonly that is POW, blockchain or distributed consensus. So in a public blockchain system exemplified by block Bitcoin, all network miners need nodes. All network miner nodes work to associate or curate a unified transaction history through distributed consensus. Okay, the transaction history is recorded in a block in a chain in the blocks in a blockchain in which every block contains a certain number of recently produced transactions. That is method used in blockchain system. And number B, another thing is that we need to know that network connectivity's impact on consensus security. Actually, we know that due to, as I discussed, as I told, that due to heterogeneous connectivity of the underlying peer-to-peer network, the equal chance of fork winning assumption does not hold true, does not become true always. So well-connected nodes yield a higher mining revenue than what is expected from their share of computing power. So the system model that this study proposed is actually the combination of two parts. Number one is called network model and consensus protocol, and number B is the adversary model. Okay, I will discuss this later, but in the network model and consensus protocol, actually so the blockchain, you see the canonized blockchain. So the horizontal line, it shows the duration of a block, and vertical lines, it shows the number of block in the chain, so in the race. So this system is designed with at most two blocks can reach each other, and you see that. So the red line, it shows the fork settlement event, and the solid block, it denotes fully propagated block, and this dotted block, it shows partially propagated block. Partially propagated block means that they cannot propagate through all the way. At some point, maybe they fail or they reach or they die. Okay, so then the system model has another part. The same part is the adversary model. So the adversary model is developed with two kind of systems. Number one is honest but potentially colluding systems. So as we know that in an honest Bitcoin system, all nodes or network nodes, they were raised and raised together is equal. They gain mining revenue equally, but In this system, is designed with that the top miners can potentially collude so that their combined mining revenue can exceed 50% of threshold. So the model actually they consider the 50% threshold, that they said 80-50 is the threshold value that is being considered. Okay, and that selfish mining, a selfish mining pool is treated as a colluding system that expand among honest node. Okay, so then as pool expands, it requires the colluding nodes computing power and the external communication links. So in this scenario, so the 50% attack threshold denotes the fraction of computing power controlled by the pool, and this is achieved easily by the colluding consortium of the pool during their expansion by selfish mining. So now the analysis of honest mining. So is this actually the analysis of honest mining is analyzed by three parts. Number one, A is fork rate, B is mining revenue, and relative mining gain, and C is security analysis. So the fork rate provides an overall measure of how much mining power is wasted. As I mentioned earlier, that the 50% attack threshold 80-50 measure the system security in the worst case scenario, that the colluding group consists of highest mining revenue earned. Actually these are measured actually by the 2 points. Number one, two aspects. Number one, it is lower. It is considered that lower overall revenue network connectivity leads to higher fork rate and lower attack threshold 50, thus weaker consensus security, that yields weaker consensus security, and higher heterogeneity of network connection also lead to a lower attack threshold, because as we know that if the system is more homogeneous, then it is easy for the blockchain blocks so to gain the threshold, attack threshold easily, but that does not happen in heterogeneous system. So the incorporation of network connectivity into selfish mining analysis is also measured by two ways. Number A is the selfish mining strategy, and number B is evaluating the gamma using betweenness centrality. So in the selfish mining strategy, you see the here is the so gamma SM. This means that the rate of selfish mining propagation rate per second, and as you see in this chain, actually the number denotes the private chains lead over the honest chain. So you see that this is not 0, it has some self mining is here is going, and also this is the collude. This is the collude between the node O and O dash. So you see that there is a collude between these three nodes O dash and 1. Okay, so so as the race goes forward, so it may go to forward, but transition may go forward, but there is a chance to have a colluding here, the selfish mining strategy. So the incorporating a network connectivity to the selfish mining analysis is also measured through the evaluation of gamma selfish mining using betweenness centrality. So based on the assumption that nodes in a selfish mining pool are asynchronous and can communicate with each other constantly, you see that this screen is in this diagram here. So the nodes are in the selfish mining, they can communicate with each other. Okay, and the pool node works as fully interconnected cluster and equivalently as a super node denoted by is SM pool, that means selfish mining pool, which preserve the pool members while external communication link to the remaining honest node. Actually all nodes are considered as remaining, but this is a collude is being happen in this area. Okay, so we show that then the authors they showed the betweenness centrality measure of selfish mining pool within the network accuracy network accurately evaluate selfish mining. So okay, so yeah, the incorporating of the network connectivity is also in the self mining tools is also analyzed by security analysis. So security, and this found actually three assumptions. So number one is that the lower overall network connectivity leads to higher selfish mining, and the lower uh, threshold threshold actually attack threshold, yeah, the lower attack threshold and the lower portability threshold. So lower profitability threshold, thus less sequence against selfish mining. So and compared to the attack threshold 50 and the portability threshold, mm, the portability threshold is more sensitive to network connectivity uh, changes. And selfish mining, number three is the selfish mining pool can take advantage of the heterogeneity of the network connectivity to achieve lower uh, attack threshold and portability threshold. So, so now let us evaluate the system. The system actually we have to evaluate system. It contains three parts. Number one A is the setup. Number B is for honest mining equipment setup, and C is the selfish mining equipment. So the setup actually the networks nodes are defined within a graph system. So graph GR means the regular graph with n nodes and the edges with degree d. So each node has degree d, and this fixed this the regular graph with n node and d degree and fx. That means a regular node, but with the first x%, whatever is coming here, x% of the nodes being fully interconnected. So some nodes in this x% node are interconnected, fully interconnected, and so then exponential distribution, it means in body is a graph with n node and exponential distributed node with degree of average d. So this is the setup, and then honest mining equipment and self mining equipment, there are two other setups. So setup for the evaluating of this system the author used. So you see there are eight these are the eight uh, result of the experiment result the author they placed. So here GE 1004, that means this graph has 1000 node, and then each node has 4 degree 4. So this is the exponential node graph, and this is the regular graph, and this is the regular graph. These are the regular graph. The lowers are the regular graph, and the upper levels are the exponential graph. So we see that there are some frequency distribution, so that are put in this table. So as we see that with the higher threshold, higher frequency threshold, so the lower frequency threshold, it gains more revenue. It gains more revenue. So the honest mining equipment is evaluated actually with two perspectives. Number one is the analytical GM result. Conversely, estimated the simulation result. So this validated the assumption one that the estimated accuracy improves when the fault rate drops. And number two is the fault rate decrease and attack threshold increase when decreases or increases. So this validated the security analysis that the higher overall network connectivity or the lower block generation rate leads to the strongest consensus security in a potentially colluding nodes. And number C is the selfish mining equipment. So the selfish mining equipment is also measured by another two assumption is that number one is the analytical result matches simulation, okay, and number B is that when in decreases from 1000 to 100, profit receiving threshold changes more dramatically than attract threshold. Okay, I think this should be these are described here in this table. So as you see that it says when the node decreases from 100 to 1000. So when the node decreases from 1000 to 100, actually so here so here and so as shown in figure 7a, actually this figure. So if you see in the figure this 7a, you see that that is gamma SM, that is gamma of selfish mining environment. It's self mining equipment. It rapidly crosses about the PRTA score. So it crosses. So is the profitability. This is the profitability threshold. This line. So it crosses quickly the profitability threshold. So here to 1 actually to this is 0 0.2 0.4 0.6 and then 1 it is here, so it goes over here quickly as the pool expand from 1000. So you see that this is the from 1000 and this red color is 1000. So for 1000 it quickly exceed the for a higher node, so exponential graph with 1000 node with 4 degree in each node. So the selfish mining rate, it exceeds the profitability threshold very quickly, as you see. And then another assumption is this: the when in decreases from 1000 to 100, profitability threshold change more dramatically than attack threshold. So here, so the blue line is that the nodes, if it is decreased from 1000, this means 1000, okay, and this is a regular graph for 100, so then it decreases the profitability thresholds. So, and this demonstrates the feasibility to selfish mining pool to choose a particular expansion strategies to exploit the heterogeneity of network and connectivity to faster the revenue growth. Okay, so that is shown in this table also. So the discussion on future work for this study, I would like to say there are some scopes. So for the researcher who want to do more research on this line in the blockchain and Bitcoin system, they have a chance to do it. So this is a kind of like fast kind of research model development for security system in Bitcoin. So actually, so there are further scopes to expand this study. So this study actually it has one potential model deficiency. This model actually, so and the consider the only two-prong fork, okay, two-prong fork that colludes still effect in for long-term mining revenue distribution. Actually two-prong forks, that means in the range maximum, I see that here two nodes, okay, could raise, to block could raise, okay. So but in reality there are many a large number of blocks propagate, okay, so in the Bitcoin system. So so there is a scope to study with a more delicate model that accounts the progress of all competitive brands in the fork, like more competitive fork, okay. And on model practicality, so this practical block, so in practical blockchain system, it can be challenging to monitor the block propagation actually, but this is a demo. And to overcome this difficulty, a block propagation progress agnostic model is needed to estimate the communication capability to forecast the revenue and of a node congregate network statistics. Furthermore, it is possible to model statistical changes of the network with a certain random process to evaluate its impact in information propagation and consensus security, okay. And moreover, there is a scope to incorporate more realistic network, so more realistic blockchain network setting in this model, and to expand the analysis of the blockchain systems. So so in conclusion, it says actually in conclusion, we can say that this study presented the impact of network connectivity on consensus security on proof of work blockchains. So under the true adversary scenarios, number one is honest but potentially colluding system, and another is selfish mining system. The first scenario demonstrates the honest but potentially colluding system that demonstrate the communication advantage of a node over the competitors in a fork race, and provided a method to estimate its long-term mining revenue and relative mining gain. And the second scenario, that is the selfish mining scenario, that introduced a practical model for the selfish mining pool this network function, and showed that the communication capability of the selfish mining pool can be accurately evaluated by a mining power weighted between a centrality measure. But for the both scenarios, it showed that uh, low network connectivity and excessive heterogeneity of network connectivity led to poor consensus security, and model and analysis can serve a paradigm for assessing the security impact of various factors in a distributed consensus system. So there is a scope in for further and expanded research in this topic, especially the impact of its selfish mining pools internal communication outline is can be a potential issue to explore for further study. Okay, so this paper, actually this paper, the author, it refers to any other related papers, but I had a chance to read only a few of them, 5 or 6 of them. So if you find interest in this presentation and in this paper, then you can go through these other papers and related papers to learn more about this. So since this presentation is online and asynchronous mode, but if you have any question, so please email me, feel free to ask me or make a comment in the comment section of the video. I will try to answer you as soon as possible, and thank you so much, and you have a good day. Bye bye.